Falcha, welcome back to Irish Granny Tarot. This is our Saturday book, video number 2 on the Kybalion, the principles of the universe, and Hermetic Philosophy. We're on chapter 4, the All. The basic principle of Hermetic Philosophy and the art of mental transmutation. The All is mind, the universe is mental. And as I said before, this really ties in with the plasma physics that they're learning more about now. Substance is the essence. It's that which underlies all outward manifestations. Essential reality, the thing itself. This is a definition when they use the word substance. It's the stuff we see. Substantial means it actually exists, and it's real and essential. Reality is the state of being true, valid, fixed, actual, permanent. Under all manifestations that we see is a substantial reality. Something real, true, and permanent is going on, no matter what we see going on around us. This is a law. This is part of the laws of nature. So I'm going to read you this little part. It seemed too complicated to just write it out. Under and behind all outward appearances or manifestations, there must always be a substantial reality. This is the law. Man, considering the universe, of which he is a unit, sees nothing but change, matter, forces, and mental states. He sees that nothing really is, but that everything is becoming and changing. Nothing stands still. Everything is being born, growing, dying. The very instant a thing reaches its height, it begins to decline. The law of rhythm is in constant operation. There is no reality, enduring quality, fixity, or substantiality in anything. Nothing is permanent but change. He sees all things evolving from other things and resolving into other things, constant action and reaction, inflow and outflow, building up and tearing down, creation and destruction, birth, growth, and death. Nothing endures but change. And if he be a thinking man, he realizes that all of these changing things must be but outward appearances or manifestations of some underlying power, some substantial reality. All great thinkers and philosophers postulate the existence of a substantial reality. Has many names depending on who you're talking to. God, the source, deity, infinite and eternal energy, matter. It's self-evident that it exists. Some substantial reality exists. There's no argument about it. Hermeticists call it the all. It transcends names. It transcends terms. Its inner nature is unknowable. Beings of advanced planes and masters all agree on this. You never get smart enough. You never get informed, knowledgeable, advanced enough. In and of itself, it must be unknowable. Some of this stuff gets esoteric. I'll let you know when I don't know what I'm talking about, what they're talking about. All theories and attempts and guesses of theologians and metaphysicians are childish efforts of mental minds to grasp the secret of the infinite. So when a preacher comes at you, tells you he or she knows, these efforts will always fail, always. It's a labyrinth of thought, like a squirrel in a treadmill. To try to grasp this is to travel forever and to never reach it. Even more presumptuous and pointless is to ascribe to the all human characteristics. For example, jealousy, anger, desire for worship, offerings, praise God. God's way beyond the human need. That's a human thing. These ideas are not worthy of grown adults. So they make the distinction between feeling gratitude for what is and, oh, thank you, Jesus. That's a big difference. Religion is institutionalized. It's an institutionalized realization of the existence of the all and one's relationship to the all. Theology those are attempts to ascribe human characteristics to the all and the assumption of the office of middlemen. People inserting themselves between you and the all. Philosophy is the inquiry after knowledge of the things that are knowable and are thinkable. Metaphysics is the attempt to carry the inquiry over and beyond boundaries into the unknowable and the unthinkable regions, and it is really the same tendency as theology. Now, this kind of irritated me when I read this because I throw the word metaphysics around a lot. But let's just accept that when I use the word metaphysics, I'm using it as sort of an umbrella term for all the different attempts of people to understand phenomena that are around us. And some of it is knowable and some of it is unknowable. I would never assume to say that there's a secret metaphysical answer that we're going to grasp. It's just a convenient term for me. And he's using it in the sense of metaphysicists will tell you this is exactly what it is. And no, they can't tell you that. So religion and philosophy have roots in reality. They acknowledge the all, that's reality, and they try to establish a relationship, and that's okay. Theology and metaphysics are like broken reeds rooted in the quicksand of ignorance and giving only insecure support for the mind and soul. So in other words, theology and a lot of metaphysical thought doesn't have that foundation, doesn't have that strong foundation. The intention might be good. The search for knowledge is necessary. But conclusions are sometimes drawn with no real foundation. So we have to be careful. So then they talk about the mind and the soul. Let me make sure I didn't skip a page here. Oh, okay. Theology and metaphysics give an insecure support for the mind and the soul. Okay. So Hermeticists don't insist on these exact definitions or demand that you accept them. This is also them coming up with terminology to get a point across. So don't take offense. They just help to establish their position on human efforts to attain knowledge of the all, and they warn that you will hear very little of theology and metaphysics here. The human mind must accept certain truths, and most of us haven't even gotten to that point yet. The fundamental truth is substantial reality, the all. That's the fundamental truth. And the next one is that the all is unknowable. And reason must be hospitably received and treated with respect without trying to remove the veil of the unknowable. Human reason tells us. So I think what they're trying to say is it's okay to be a seeker, but don't go down too many rabbit holes. The all is all that really is. Nothing exists outside the all. The all is infinite in time and eternity. It always was. It wasn't created. And that actually was what I was taught as, child growing up Catholic. God always was. So there are little kernels of this philosophy in every religion. Something can't evolve from nothing. If you start getting logical about this, it hurts the brain, but think about this. I'm going to use the word God, the all, God. Couldn't have started because there was nothing before God. And it didn't just start out of nothing. That's just not possible. It just always was. It always will be. We were taught that too. It is all. Therefore, you can't destroy all. It's all. And it's everywhere. It's infinite in space and infinite in power and is absolute. Omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, and absolute. All is immutable. Can't be changed. It can't work. It's not possible to work changes upon it. And it can't be changed into anything. The all is infinite, absolute, eternal, unchangeable. Therefore, anything finite, changeable, fleeting, and conditional cannot be the all. There is nothing outside the all. Matter is not the all. It cannot manifest life and mind. Therefore, it's not the all. Today's science tells us. Now, I think this is interesting. I don't know how that fits into the theories about inorganic growth in plasma. But I guess it's not creating something out of nothing. I don't know. By the time we're done this book, I promise you your brain is going to hurt. Today's science tells us there's no such thing as matter. Matter is interrupted energy or force at a low rate of vibration. Therefore, matter has melted into mystery. And what they're saying is we thought we knew what we were talking about, and the more we learn, the less we know. Material science now abandons the theory of matter, and it rests instead on energy, which is, the plasma thing, the vibration thing, the ions and electrons, etc., etc., etc. The all is not mere energy or mere force because they are devoid of life and devoid of mind. Nothing can rise higher than its source. Nothing manifests in the effect unless it is in the cause. Okay, that's one of those things where I really have to think about what they're saying. The all is much more than energy or force. The all is living mind, infinite living mind. It is spirit. The all is infinite living mind. Illumined souls call it spirit. Now, we're on chapter 5, the mental universe. The universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. The all is spirit, and spirit can't be defined. It is what word we use. It's our name for infinite living mind. The real essence can't be explained, can't be defined. And if anybody tells you that they can explain it to you and define it to you, then they're engaging in, theology or metaphysics. We can't know it. We don't have the capacity. It's unknowable. Spirit is superior to the life and the mind, which is superior to energy and matter, which is mechanical. So if you think about it a second, they're talking about levels of vibration. Solids, liquids, gas, plasma. That applies. That makes sense. As above, so below, right? Spirit transcends understanding, and it's just how we speak about the all. So what is the universe? The universe is a creation of the all. It's created from what? Because something can't come from nothing. It's not created from part of the all because the all can't be subtracted from. It can't be divided. But this can all be explained by the principles of correspondence, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. The all creates the universe mentally, like man creates mental images. So this is really the thoughts. We're the thoughts of God, I guess is what he's saying. The all can't create by using materials because nothing exists separate and outside the all. The all doesn't reach out of itself to get materials to create. It comes from within. The all doesn't create by reproducing and subtracting because it can't multiply or divide itself. It just is. And it can't take away from itself. So therefore, it has to create mentally. And it uses nothing outside of itself. And it doesn't reproduce itself. You can't have two gods. You can create a universe mentally. The all creates a universe with the mental. Your universe is created by your finite mind. You got a whole thing going on up here. The all is a universe. The all's universe is a creation of the infinite. They're similar in kind. They're different in degree. As above, so below. The universe and all it contains is a mental creation of the all. The all is mind. Now this sounds so simple. It's complicated. I find this really a challenge to absorb. But I think it's good to keep coming back to it and thinking about it and trying to figure out what it means. The all creates in its infinite mind countless universes which exist for eons of time, and yet to the all, the creation, development, decline, and death of a million universes is as the time of the twinkling of an eye. That's creepy. The infinite mind of the all is the womb of universes. The all creates by manifesting the principle of gender. And this does not mean sex. It means relating to the generation or creation of something. And this is not saying that God is female or male. That is an ancient distortion of ancient teachings, a modern distortion too of ancient teachings. The all is above gender. When we talk about the principle of gender, we're talking about polarity, coming up with the idea and creating the idea, generation, creation. The all is the law from which the law proceeds. So when the all manifests on the plane of generation, that's called creating. It acts according to the laws and principles of the universe. It manifests the principles of gender on the mental plane. To really think about this. We passively accept this in our acceptance of the idea of God, the Divine Father, and nature as the universal mother. We kind of taken these ideas and sort of tried to make them palatable, digestible for our little brains. But there is no real duality. The all is one. It's an infinite mind. The universe is generated, created, and exists in the mind of the all. The all manifests the masculine principle and projects its will toward the feminine principle, which begins the actual work of the evolution of the universe. Because as above, so below, we can look at how we form mental images and use that process to help understand the all as it creates in mentality. For example, the I stands apart and witnesses the creation of mental images in your own mind. So you can be an observer of yourself. The part of your mind which these images generates could be called the me. The I witnesses the me. The cheese stands alone. We feel instinctive reverence for a father and mother mind. It's inherent in us. The little world around you is not the universe. There are endless millions of such worlds within the infinite mind of the all. This starts to get mind-blowing. So we have, even in our own little solar system, there are regions and planes of life far higher than ours, and beings compared to which we earthbound mortals are as the slimy life forms that dwell on the ocean's bed when compared to man. There are beings with powers and attributes higher than man has ever dreamed of the gods possessing, and that yet these beings were once as you and still lower. And you will be even as they and still higher in time, for such is the destiny of man as reported by the illumined. At the end of the cycle, the grand cycle of eons, when the all shall draw back into itself all of its creations, you will go gladly, for you will then be able to know the whole truth of being, at one with the all. Such is the report of the illumined who have advanced well along the path. And in the meantime, rest calm and safe and serene. You are safe and protected by the infinite power of the Father-Mother mind. Within the Father-Mother mind, mortal children are at home. There is not one who is fatherless nor motherless in the universe. I thought that was lovely. I like that. Okay. Something important. Death is not real. It's birth to a new life, and you shall go on and on for eons of time. You are dwelling in the infinite mind of the all. Your possibilities and opportunities are infinite. Chapter 6, The Divine Paradox. Because we don't have enough of that right now. We're not confused enough. So here's another one for you. Mastery is being able to use the laws, knowing the nature of the universe. And it's not about having abnormal dreams or visions of fantastic imaginings. It's intentional. You use higher forces against the lower forces. You escape the pains of the lower planet by vibrating on the higher planet, the higher plane. Transmutation is not a presumptuous denial of anything. It's the weapon of the master. So what they're saying here, they're trying to put everything into one pithy little maxim, one little sentence that explains everything. What they're saying is, you gradually achieve this knowledge, and the more understanding you get, the better able you are to apply your understanding to the principles and make them work for you, and we hope in a positive way with good intention. When the all begins to create, it manifests the principle of polarity. This is the paradox of the universe. To the infinite all, everything, universal laws, powers, its life and phenomena, all is witnessed in a state of meditation or dream. To the finite, the universe is real with an ever-growing understanding of truth, each according to its own plane and laws. So this is a fancy, complicated way of, and these things are like an onion, and we're looking at the outer layer only. So essentially what it's saying is, as you gain in knowledge, rise in vibration, increase your understanding, get a real grip on the principles of the universe, you get a completely different perspective of reality. Our reality right now is limited by our understanding, each according to its own plane and laws. If the all imagined the universe as reality, it would become fixed and progress and would become impossible. It would be no escape from low to high, divine word. But the all doesn't do that. When man thinks of the universe as a dream, it becomes a dream for him. Like a sleepwalker, he stumbles around in a circle, making no progress and being forced into an awakening by being bruised and bloodied over the natural laws that he has ignored. So this is a way of saying that our lack of knowledge, our lack of understanding is what gets in our way. Beware of half-truths. Remember the divine paradox. While the universe is not, still it is. It's a construct in the mind of the all, and yet it's reality. Go figure. Remember the two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative. Keep your mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall in the mire by reason of your upward gaze. So try, but don't try too hard. The law of paradox is an aspect of the principle of polarity. So each of these principles have certain laws attached to them, and everything interrelates. So sometimes it gets muddled, But the more you kind of digest it, the less obscure it becomes, the more clarity it gets. We must grasp the divine paradox of the absolute relative to beings entangled in the mire of the half-truth. Therefore, this is all very received wisdom. Therefore, the lesson is when man realizes that the universe is a mental creation of the all, man thinks, therefore it is a mere illusion, an unreality. And man instinctively rejects this, but this needs to be considered from the absolute and the relative. The absolute, okay. The universe is in the nature of an illusion or a dream as compared to the all. We often refer to the world as a fleeting show. It comes and goes. It's born and it dies. It's impermanent and it's finite. Anything with a beginning or an end must be unreal and untrue. There is nothing real except the all. Everything else, Buddhists, I think, everything is illusion. That's what we're talking about here. That's what they were talking about. This is a more complicated way of presenting it. The universe is not enduring, non-enduring. An absolute truth is that things of time and space and change, these are all the mind of God. This is all in the mind of God. This is the one side, the absolute side of the picture. Then we have the relative side of the picture. Things as the highest reason of man. Things as man understands them. That's the relative side. To finite minds, the universe is very real. So we've got this illusion. All is illusion. This is that side of it. The absolute side of it. The relative side to us, what it seems like to us, it's all real and we're viewing it with mortal faculties. So it is real because we only have our senses to depend on. We're not looking at it as the all looks at it. We can see matter exists, objects, but science says there's no such thing as matter. Just atoms grouped as units vibrating in constant motion. We kick a stone and it seems to be real. Our foot and our brain, they tell us, oh, matter, it's matter. But it's just electrons. And our foot is just electrons, and our brain is just electrons. If not for our mind, we would not know the foot or the stone or anything else. In our finite minds, to the writer and the sculptor, their creations seem very real. So what's the degree of reality in the mental images they're created in the mind of the infinite? Yikes. To mortals, the universe of mentality is very real indeed. It's all that we can know, no matter how hard we try. No matter how high we rise, this is going to be mind-boggling. As we rise nearer to the mind of the all, it becomes more apparent to the illusory nature of the finite things, but not until the all withdraws us into itself will the vision actually vanish. What I made of that is we're not going to know until we've finished our journey and go back to source. I had a big question mark here. Lots of question marks in this. We need to understand that the mental laws of the universe exist. We need to use them in our upward progress from plane to plane. The laws of the universe are iron laws. We're all bound to them. Everything is bound to them except the all. That which is in the infinite mind of the all is real. We are all held firmly in the mind of the all. Therefore, we are real. There's no power outside the all to hurt us. There's nothing to fear. So be calm and secure. Now, that doesn't mean that you may not, have walk outside your door and get hit by a car. It's not what they're saying. We're talking on a spiritual level. Be calm and peaceful do we sleep, rocked in the cradle of the deep. In the all, we live and move and have our being. But we live in the plane of matter, earthly matter. And matter is real to us even as we know it is just vibrating atoms. I mean, it's our senses. And their force is merely a manifestation of the mind of the all. It's all purely mental, but we see it as something solid. On this plane, we see it as matter, we control it as matter, but we do this by applying higher forces that we are not even aware of or familiar with or conscious of. We must not ignore the relative aspect of matter. The laws of nature are also mental creations and are in full effect on all planes. And we're going to talk about planes. We overcome the lower laws by applying the higher laws. They interact, and we can mitigate unwanted results of laws by using other laws. But we can't escape or entirely rise above the law. It's a fine distinction. Only the all can escape the law because the all is the law, from which all laws emerge. There's a hierarchy of beings, different levels of masters, and some so high they may have the power of the gods. There are beings whose power transcends the highest masters among men to a degree that would be unimaginable to us. Even the highest masters or beings must bow to the law and be as nothing in the eye of the law. Imagine the presumption of mortal man when he dares to consider the laws of nature as unreal, illusory, because he grasps that the laws are mental creations of the all. The governing laws of the all are not to be defied or argued away. As long as the universe endures, the laws endure. The universe exists by virtue of these laws, which form a framework and hold it together. The principle of mentalism agrees with science. Science corroborates the Hermetic teachings, which says that all is mental. And we just talked about that with the plasma thing. Science used to say that all is matter, and now they know that all matter is energy. They're eventually going to get it. Herbert Spencer, who came up with the term survival of the fittest, Darwin didn't. Darwin stole it. He had the theory of evolution, which Darwin expounded upon. And he applied it to societies. Social Darwinism, it's called. And it's the philosophical belief on the evolution of humanity. As above, so below, just as species evolve. Humanity has evolved. And he postulated the existence of an infinite and eternal energy from which all things proceed. And this is the highest outside statement of the workings of natural law. Hermetics believe that Spencer was the reincarnation of the ancient Egyptian philosopher thousands of years ago, Heraclitus, who was a Greek from 500 BC, and then in the 1500s, Spencer. So his infinite and eternal energy is in direct line with Hermetic teachings, energy being the energy of the mind of the all. His teachings on evolution and rhythm are 100% in agreement with the principle of rhythm. And therefore, you can believe that scientific theories that he came up with exist because they agree with the underlying principle that the all is mind, the universe is mental, held in the mind of the all. The other 6 principles fit into science and help shine light on the science. No wonder the ancient Greeks laid the foundation for modern science, and the ancient Greeks were influenced by Hermetic teachings. It all comes full circle. Science is gradually moving to embrace the principles of mentalism in its search for reality. Talking about information packets in the crystals. This lesson is the universe and its laws are as real to man as they would be under the hypotheses of materialism, which is physics explaining everything, or energism, which is atomic stuff explaining everything. The universe is changing, ever-flowing, transitory, devoid of substantiality and reality. But under the other pole of truth, we are compelled to act and live as if fleeting things are real and substantial. And we are given inadequate tools to really know everything because we only have our senses. We are constrained by our bodies. As in older views, mental power was ignored as a natural force. But now, in the principle of mentalism, it is the greatest natural force. Do not be hypnotized by the apparent unreality of things. The consequence of that is to wander around in a world of dreams, ignoring the practical work and life of man. So just don't get too, woo-woo. Follow the examples of the wise. Use the laws against the laws, the higher against the lower. By the art of alchemy, transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. And the model that came to my mind, so I wrote this down because I think when these things come to mind, it's important to acknowledge them. This basically explains, or it's modeled by the warning, do unto others. So let me read that again. By the art of alchemy, transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Okay. Mastery. Mastery consists of not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Remember always, student, that transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. The above quotations are from the Kybalion and are worthy of being committed to memory by the student. We don't live in a world of dreams. Our universe is real, so for far as our lives go and our actions are concerned, we live in a reality. Our business in the universe is not to deny its existence, but to live with the laws and to use them from lower to higher. Use every day, do the best that you can, and live to our biggest ideas and ideals. The true meaning of life is not known to us on this plane. We're not able to. Any belief system that tells you that they know the meaning of life is not really being, that's disingenuous, because we can't know it. We don't have the brain power. We don't have the spiritual evolution, but we can head in the right direction. Let's see. But if we live up to the best that we have in us, we will make mistakes, but not make as many mistakes as if we ignored the best within us. To do the best you can as far as possible. The universe tends in the same direction in spite of apparent evidence to the contrary. We are all on the path. The roads all lead upward. It's actually very reassuring. Chapter 7, the all in all. The Hermetic maxim is the all in all, and that's used to describe many deities. And it's one of the greatest philosophical, scientific, and religious truths. All is in the all, and the all is in all. Thus, this is according to the law of paradox. Here we go again. The all is immanent in its universe. What does that mean? It's inherent in, it abides in, and is in every part of anything large and small. So, as I was taught, God is omnipresent. God is everywhere. So using the principle of correspondence, imagine that anything with a form contains the all. Like an author would imagine characters in a book, or a painter would imagine his paintings, we are the imaginings of the all. This image is in your head, and its entire existence is in you, and our entire existence is in the all. In the same way as Shakespeare imagined Hamlet, and Hamlet depended on Shakespeare to exist. So according to the law of paradox, Dickens created Scrooge. Scrooge is both Scrooge and Dickens. That Scrooge and Dickens are not identical. Okay, we'll just put that out there. We can say, quote, "The spirit of my creator is inherent within me, yet I am not he." That makes more sense to me. We cannot say I am God any more than Scrooge could say I am Dickens. The all is in the earthworm. The all is in the earthworm, yet the earthworm is far from being the all. Okay, I could believe that. You have to excuse my hesitancy. I read this well over a month ago, and I can't read my handwriting. So all these examples are inadequate. They don't really do justice to the concept. The creatures of infinite minds is what we are, which the universe has created from an infinite mind. We are creatures of the finite mind. So we just don't have the capacity. The difference between the two poles separates them. It's a matter of degree, the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. The more we realize the existence of the spirit within, the higher we rise. Well, that's encouraging, because that seems sort of not so impossible. So what they're saying is God is in you. And the more you acknowledge that and recognize that and honor that, the closer to God. And here, we always thought it was the higher the hair. Sorry, I should be more serious. Spiritual development is the recognition and manifestation of the spirit within us. Many planes of being in the universe exist, but on a scale. And at the lowest is the grossest matter, and at the highest, there's only a thin separation from that spirit to the all. Everything is moving up the scale, whether you know it or not. We're all on that path. We're all in the progress, and our progress is what they call returning home. In the beginning of the creative process, the all projects its will towards its aspects of becoming, and the process of creation begins. This is the start of the creative cycle. This is a fancy way of saying the all, God, created everything. Vibration is lowered to a very low degree until the grossest particle of matter is manifested. I think my dog left that out back earlier. The stage of involution, the all becomes involved or wrapped up in the creation. This corresponds to the mental process of an artist or an author or an inventor, somebody who's writing something and is just lost in it. You get so wrapped up in the creative process that you live in your creation. It's called being wrapped, R-A-P-T. And it's an involuntary stage called the outpouring of divine energy. This is the extreme pole from the all. This is the lowest vibration. The vibration continues until it goes down and the urge ceases. And then you will have a product. The return to the pendulum begins, the evolutionary stage, the pendulum of rhythm, a coming home. The evolution. This is the indrawing, the evolutionary stage. Okay, so I have a big question mark here. I'm going to read this, and I'm going to hope that somehow that reading it is going to eliminate the big question. This manifests the law of individualization, the tendency to separate into units of force until that which left the all is individualized energy and then returns to its source as countless highly developed units of life having risen higher and higher and higher by means of physical, mental, spiritual evolution. Oh, okay, it's just saying we're all going back to the source. Very complicated way of putting it, but it's put out from the source at the farthest point when the creative urge is over. That particular thing is at its lowest vibration and starts returning back. Hermeticists call the process of mental creation of the universe as the mind of the all meditation or contemplation. It is in the employment of divine attention. And in Latin, attention means to reach out or stretch out, like that. Tenere is to hold, and at is to, extend that way. The act of attention is a mental reaching out or extension of mental energy. The process of evolution, therefore, according to the Hermeticists, is the all meditates on the beginning of creation, establishes the material foundations of the universe, thinks it into existence. It gradually awakens and rouses from its meditation and therefore starts the manifesting, the process of evolution on the material, mental, and spiritual planes, and the upward movement begins to move spiritward. Matter becomes less gross, units spring into being, they combine, combinations form, life appears and manifests. Goes on to higher and higher forms. The mind becomes more and more in evidence. Vibrations constantly get higher. The process of evolution begins and proceeds according to the laws of the indrawing. This takes eons, each millions of years, but it's a twinkle in the eye of the all. And at the end, the all withdraws its attention. The great work is finished. The all is withdrawn into the all from which it emerged. And the big mystery is the spirit of each soul is not annihilated, but is infinitely expanded. The creation and the creator are mingled. This is heady stuff. This is deep thoughts. This is an attempt to explain the infinite process by a finite example. As below, so above. Just as the all arouses itself from meditation on the universe, so does man over time cease from manifesting on the material plane and withdraws into the indwelling spirit, the divine ego. They ask a common question, and I hope I remember to ask the cards this. Why does the all create the universe? And their response is, there's no answer worthy of its name. For gain, for love, is it lonely? These are all absurd explanations. They belong to children's thought. They're being admonished here. Also, it's not compelled by any nature or instinct because it is the all. The law of correspondence hints that something in the all that correlates to creative urges in humans. We cannot say there is a reason because the all is unknowable. But a reason implies a cause, but the all is above cause and effect. The all acts because it acts. Let's just say it's the whim of God. The all is all reason, all law, all action in itself. The answer is locked within the inner self of the all, along with the secret of being. More question marks here. Metaphysical speculation is futile. So what they're warning is stop dabbling in modern metaphysical, new agey trends and attempts to figure things out and start attempting to understand the laws of the universe, these hermetic principles. When Hermes was asked, why does the all create? He said, nothing. There is no answer. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. And where the great Hermes hesitated to speak, what mortal may dare to teach? Okay, I'm going to stop here because this is a good place to stop at the end of a chapter. So, let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to stop here and I'll be back. So this is the end of video 2. And I know this is a lot. I hope I didn't bite off more than I could chew. And it's too complicated for me to explain. But it's interesting to go over this. It ties together a lot of stuff, and I hope it's helpful. And I have a lot of stuff coming from other than this very old philosophical book. So if you can hang in there, I think you're going to be very interested about how we have expounded on this. So, slán go fóill.